Hey folks, Dave here, and I just want to let you know that I've cut another release of the Resonant Rise mod pack. I've invited a bunch of people to test. My plan is to do something like this. As soon as I feel it's really done, and I think we're waiting on just a few more mods to finish up what they're doing before it's really done, I'm going to make two versions of the pack. One is a publicly distributable pack. It won't have all the mods, but it will have all the configs for all the mods. Then you can go and grab those mods by hand, and until I get permissions, that's going to be the best I can do. We actually had a fair amount of interest about the mod pack on my stream and Way of Time stream, so we're definitely going to do it. And we've got a bunch of testers running right now, and they seem to be having a good time with the mod pack. A little baffled by all the new options, but having a good time. And if you check it out, we're doing pretty good. We only have one conflict, and that's when a mod conflicts with itself when it overwrites itself, and that's a tomb. So we're doing pretty good. I think the only thing that's broken right now is forestry backpacks aren't working quite right, and I'll get that set up for the next release. But without further ado, I thought I'd sign in and get started. So this is the same Resonant Rise server as before. Well, as you can see, I'm recording. So, you last time saw us at that off in the distance, this way, I believe. No, this way. There is the spawn point, and you've seen Way of Time having some adventures on his stream. I hope they're really cool. And yeah, so this is the new little house I ran off and made. I didn't want to have everybody sit around watching me make my little house because watching building when I'm not very good at it is not too fun. But you can see all my civilization holes around here, which are creepers. And this area is actually pretty nice. It's a nice little grove biome, which is not unusual. You can see all these nice big trees, lots of wood, lots of these weird little pits in the ground, and this beautiful underground biome's blue schist, which is actually the same kind of rock that's native to my homeland of California, and so somewhat unique. So I felt right at home here. As you can see, I've been growing lots of reeds, and there's surface lava. There's a really, really intricate canyon system over here, and you can see I did some exploring, a lot of exploring to try and find stuff. I'm actually gonna turn off. He's here. We don't have voice chat set up. Oh, so he thinks I need cactus. He's forcing my hand. I actually spent a bunch of time and gathered minium for a minium shard rather than finding cactus. I have dig as well, now that I have green stone. Oh, he's got some fancy tools. But let me show him this. This is another spell I found. Transpose. Oh, what just happened? So the transpose switches the positions of me and my target. Oh, wow, he has fire shield. So I won't sit around talking and typing to Way of Time for too long. But he's got some cool spells, and he's hitting me again and again, again and again, again and again. So I'm just going to transpose to get away from him. So anyways, this is my new little house. And he's going to leave via my house. Probably the same way that I'll show you in a little bit. You can see the puff of smoke. So I have a nice little farm. I got some cows. I even, in my backyard here of this little house, I set up a smeltery. And that's how I managed to make this pickaxe. I've done a bunch of mining. I have a diamond pick. Or rather, this is a pick that's a single diamond fixed on a bronze pick. Now, normally bronze would be no problem with forestry, but part of the fun of Resonant Rise is tweaking things around a little bit. So, I disabled forestry bronze. You can make it the Greg Tech way, which is not very efficient, or you can make it the, the way that they recommend in Tinker's Construct, which is to build a smeltery, and then you get the good forestry ratios of bronze. But I feel like that's a pretty nice thing to have to do. There's a little bit of texture glitch in there, sorry. This is a pretty cool system, and I think it's cool, and I want more people to use it. So, we're just going to kind of kind of let people work there. As you can see, I've been learning some spells. I have Transplace. I still haven't learned Blink, so I still can't. I need Blink to use 7 League Stride. I'm not sure what to do about that. But I have the spell Clairvoyance, which, as you can see, takes a ton of runes. So obviously I'm not going to be going there just yet. I haven't made any other spells but these 3. I found these 3 a while ago. Huh. These little fire shield particles got left behind when he teleported. That's funny. But yeah, as you can see, we've got Mistcraft in the pack now. You can see from this book, those are familiar. And I'm just going to turn off my waypoints for a sec, because they're kind of tedious to have on the screen. There we go. Anyways, so I'm going to show you what I've been working on. Here's the same setup I had back at the other place. So I've independently got it. I've got a ton of resources, but I don't really have the coal to process them all. So I wanted to start working with you watching and giving me advice, YouTube, on the subject of industrialization. I think I'm going to do thermal expansion first, just because I have a couple of plans and I'd like to start building the things I need for that. But we'll see. Anyways, what I also wanted to show you was that Way of Time has built a Nether portal, and he's about 300 meters that way, so it's too close for me to build my own. But what I did was I used a book. So I have our beautiful Nether spawn. I put up some bricks so that people know it was me. And as you can see, our Nether is very different from the average Nether. Whoa, there's a ghast around here, isn't there? Oh, yeah. But we have all these really interesting things in our Nether. We have that tree over there. We have these ores. We have Nether quartz. Oh, dear. Oh, boy. Gotta kill this guy. Oh, it's the worst. That was a fire bat from Thaumcraft that nearly got me. You can see these clouds from Natura, this curious tree. I really don't know what's up with that. I'd love to know, actually. In fact, I'm going to sneak down here. I can see that Way of Time has probably cored this tree as well. Let's just make a nice little deal there. And is that, what is that? I don't even know what all these things are. So let's take our pick to this. Looks like it maybe is a wood. Yes. Oh. So this is Bloodwood, a fire-resistant tree. How interesting. I don't see any strongholds or anything nearby, but there actually is a fair amount of really awesome stuff added by the mods. So that's one of the reasons I came here. Like, here's the new 151 Nether Quartz, of which I've grabbed some. Also substitutable, by the way, for Applied Energistics Quartz. So if you're willing to go to the risky place that is the Nether, you can get a whole bunch more of that. And so here I'm going to use Dig and just kind of, you know, Y. There we go. Harvest a little bit of that up. But you can see there's other ores too. Yeah. Let's see if we can find some. So there's what looks to be cinnabar and pyrite, which are traditional GregTech ores that spawn quite a bit. And yes, GregTech's in the pack now. I actually, I'm going to be, right now it's in hard mode, but that'll be disabled soon. Let's see, what's this? Yes, this is cinnabar and redstone. Fantastic. We need all the stuff of this we can get. I don't have any GregTech infrastructure built yet, but ooh, I wonder what that even is. Let's see. This is Nether Lapis. Uh-oh, I may have aggroed. There's a mod called Nether Ores, written by Power Crystals, the same person who did Mind Factory Reloaded, that brings us this interesting setup, but which is all these ores spawning. But it also, if the pigmen catch you doing this, they'll be upset. Still, I need lapis, so I'm going to be kind of taking my chances. They aren't that strong, and I've got armor, as you can see. Oh, another thing I got hats. The hats mod is in. Yay! So now, if I were to, let's see, I have a hat. Hooray! I have Pahamar's hat on now. I like it. And we'll see if we can get other hats. In fact, I think we can do custom hats too, so we may have to see if we can get some of our modeler friends to do that. So I don't even know what this is. Mining in the Nether, it's such a dynamic experience now because there's so much stuff. This is Nether Tin, another thing. These are interesting. This is from Natura, and these are little clouds. As you can see, we can kind of force our way through them, and we can kind of even sink through them, right? And we don't suffocate inside them, but they are a little gross, right? So what is it? Well, this stuff is, I believe, ash cloud. And let's see if we can collect a bunch of it. And we'll use Chicken Bones' Transposers mod's crafting grid. Let me just put a little bit here. And the tooltip gives it away, but try not to look too hard. I go like this, right? And I go 1, 2, 3. Get the middle. We get a charcoal. So, I mean, not the most useful recipe, but it's nice to have torches. Anyway, so I was gonna just kind of walk around, show off these really cool environments. I think it's fun. And let's see, are you? Oh, you are. Oh dear. I have built a longsword to help me survive these hostile environments. But I'd better, for the sake of my health, eat. Uh-oh. Whew. Boy. The Nether, despite being a place that's quite desirable to mine in Resonant Rise, is not the most desirable place to just hang out. So let's keep an eye on our way home over there. Whoop. So let me show you the awesome power of the longsword. Whoa, these guys are fast. Oh no! Okay, well, let's sneak down over here. Well, it must have been over here, huh? Let's hope that we can get our stuff back. Oh dear. This is going to be a little tedious, folks, so I'm going to pause the recording. And okay, so I got my stuff back. Whew. I had to kind of dodge around a bunch of, and make multiple strafing passes on a bunch of angry pigmen. Then we killed the pigmen, Way of Time and I. And we had noticed as we were doing this, there's actually a nether fortress really close to us. So we thought we would try and raid it really quick and see if there's any nether wart, because that'd be something that's good to grab. So I guess we're just going to dig our way in. And you can see off in the distance all sorts of other interesting terrain features. Some of which are... He's going to go faster, because he is much faster. Some interesting terrain features, and I'm going to arm myself properly as I wait. Let's see. Another thing you can see over there is I got the backpack mod. Without forestry backpacks working, and without any assurance that Red Power 2 will be... let's just chuck that, we don't need it. Without any assurance that Red Power 2 will be working anytime soon, I went ahead and grabbed the backpack mod, because I love having these little backpacks. And I'm actually going to use it really quick, just to store some of my ill-gotten gains. Now, like I said, not all of the forestry backpacks are working quite yet, and it actually is kind of a chore to go through and get them all working perfectly. So I have been a little, I've been happier to go forward with the actual playing of and setting up of the mods rather than configuring the forestry ones perfectly. Because every time the mod list changes, the forestry stuff has to be regenerated. Bad things can occur. Nice. Okay, we're in. Pull out my longsword. Ooh, blazes. Oh. Whoa. This is already getting exciting. Alright, we got nether wart. Alright, and we'll grab the soul sand too, because it is useful. Alright. So, yeah, this is, the same kind of nether action that you're used to seeing. In fact, let me just make sure that my brightness is up. Yeah, it's all the way up, so sorry if it's too dark. I'll try and edit it in post to make sure it's bright. But, we got this and this fun, whoa. Jeez. This, amazing terrain features that we got here. Let's see. Sounds like we've got some stuff up here, too. Gotta keep myself armed. Whew. Whew. Yeah, it's scary. This one knows nowhere. Blaze. I got a few arrows. Eat my arrow. Oh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Never mind. I was wrong. I can't take you. You're too strong for me. But, yeah, so things have been progressing pretty well. And so my plan today is to get started with some early bees. And maybe get started... Whoa. It's tough to concentrate when we got all these amazing things going on. Maybe get started with a little bit of power. I came to the Nether specifically because I wanted to get Netherrack. I need Netherrack for a couple of things in Ars Magica that should make life more fun. And when I say fun, I mean in a good way, not a bad way. Oh, getting a little hungry. we go. Unfortunately, all of our aggressive magic is fire-based, which is not that great in the Nether. So here we go. All right, so and the reason I got netherrack is I need arcane ash, and you'll see why in a little bit. But I'm going to start making power, and I'm going to start with mine jewels via thermal expansion, now that I can, and I'm going to start with oh boy, he's got a problem. Wow, he got armor. Lapis lazuli chestplate. I don't know if this is... No, this is actually worse than my iron armor, isn't it? But, hey, that's cool. I'll give it to him. Okay, so we have managed to escape the Nether together, escape the fortress, and I just wanted to give you a little preview. I'm sure Way of Town will be showing you this in his stream, but he's quite a bit further along than me because while I'm maintaining the pack, he's busy working. But I thought I'd show you his base. He's got some stuff here. He's got a cute little smeltery there, which is looking pretty good. Yeah, well, he's a little bit ahead of me because he doesn't, have to work on the pack. Oh, he's got some berries. Ooh, what's this? I don't even know what that is. See, I actually don't know all the content made available in the pack. I mean, I haven't used it all. Here's his arcane power. So let's get my magic levels back. There we go. I got most of them back. Yeah, so that's actually an abstractor, I guess, which is lets you turn certain fantasy metals into experience. It's actually really good. So let's see. We should make a nexus soon. Anyways, that's his base. I won't spoil too much of it, but I figured I'd show you because, he's on our server and he's progressing along nicely. And he's a little bit ahead of me in some areas and a little bit behind in others, it looks like. Although I'm sure that won't last that way for long. I may have to use some novel power solutions just to blow everybody out of the water. All right. I'm surprised he didn't use that cool treehouse. The door was so neat. Anyways, I don't want to walk all the way back, so I'm going to teleport back via... All right. So, here I am back at my place. And, oh, there's creepers everywhere, of course. Let's see if we can deal with that problem. Fireball. Step 1, fireball. Step 2, also fireball. Really, all the steps are just fireball steps. So one of the things I noticed about my house, oh no, is that, I better put that out before things get really bad, huh? Is that you see these green particle effects everywhere? I'm not sure why or how it happened, but it turns out that I have radiation contamination all around this area, specifically in my house. There's probably a place where I can go and find... Ooh, this hurts. Yes, let's just jump in this water. Oh, so soothing, so cooling. Oh, look, coal and apatite down here. I'm not sure why, but there's just radiation contamination everywhere in my house, which is a pain. And wait. Oh, yes, I know what that is. Okay, so there's a little Ars Magica structure that has been thoroughly raided by everybody. Everybody keeps seeing it. It's like, is that new? But it's not new. Okay, so what I thought I would do real quick is I went out and I, ran around. And let me just dump all this stuff off. And I think I can just right-click this guy. Or shift right-click? No, that's not it at all. Oh, that's a bummer. The forestry backpacks are nice because you can just dump stuff out. So let me just get everything in this inventory, the starter chest. I actually don't have enough coal to really do what I want to do right now. So more efficient power usage is obviously... Ah, he left a little present for me. Cool. More efficient power usage is obviously what we want. I think I did it backwards there for just a brief moment. What we'd like to end up doing is getting more efficient power usage, because I've shown you, even if I have a copper one here, it's still just hellaciously inefficient. I can't deal with it. I'm running out of coal constantly because of the problems I've got with just finding fuel. There's a lot of ores, but I did decrease the spawn frequency of coals ever so slightly. Also, now that I have a bunch of nether quartz, and if I can get my power situation sorted out, I'd really like to get into applied energistics. I got very accustomed to it on my other server, Advancing Craft, and I sort of don't want to have to go back. Okay, so let's just get this backpack open, this slightly inferior backpack. We have all the nether quartz we need for automation now too. But let's start with something a little bit more elementary. All right, that's about as big as about as good as we're gonna do for now. Can toss this guy in here. Oh, you can see we have Bibliocraft on the server. You can see a couple of these things. Oh no, radiation poisoning. I stayed too long by my radiation poisoning bed. Oh, 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 it's terrible. I have wither. Yeah, well, it doesn't subside quickly either. Oh, I should make sure I was helping people log on to the server earlier, so I had it off of cheat mode, so I could go over and greet everybody. We added a whole bunch of people. Almost everyone from Advancing Craft has agreed to come over to Resonant Rise, which is exciting. For those of you who haven't heard of it before, Advancing Craft was another server that I and some other Feed the Beast forum goers made. And it's a pretty cool server. It was basically a version of Feed the Beast Ultimate that I was maintaining ahead of Feed the Beast's rather slow schedule. Looks like we've got some stars coming out. That's okay, though. Anyways, so, yes, what we'd like to do is maybe get a little bit more wood to start. And we should be safe just coming out here. I built a little gate to keep the creepers right away from my door. I hate when they blow up my door, you know? Let's grab a couple more pieces of this wood. You know, this tree is ugly anyways. We're going to raise it to the ground, so let's not care too much if we leave awkward Minecraft holes. Alright. So, we'll start by making a bunch of wood. And we'll also step inside just to keep the monsters off our back. I went out and I found bees. Bees, right. And I wanted to show you one of the new things about forestry is that there's some new avenues into beekeeping. One of the toughest and I think one of the most legitimate complaints about beekeeping is that you actually need a lot of infrastructure to make the things you need for bees. You need to have power, you need to have a squeezer, you need to have a bunch of seeds, a successful farm. And that's great and all, but actually the early bits of beekeeping can be very useful for an early server. And generally the only way that people get to use that is by getting a little lucky with their spawn and being able to do things like, you know, use something along the lines of, say, villagers. You know, you could raid a village, and if you get lucky finding one near spawn, you could be using that to get apiaries, which you could then, you know, grow bees in early. But that's not really like a reliable way, and no one really wants to rely on that. So Singir added a new type of bee house. You can see it's oak wood slabs and planks with a honeycomb in the center. And this is a bee house. This bee house is an actual place where we can store bees. It's not the best place. It's actually triples the lifespan of the bees, which is a downside, not an upside, for those who know anything about beekeeping. Let's just plonk this down right over here. This appears to be a cow with a hat, by the way. That is a cow. That cow has a hat. That's fantastic. Well done, cow with a hat. Let's just plunk them up here on the hillside. Hopefully we won't run into too many monsters. We need some sky for you. How about right here? Whoa, spider. Unfortunately, I have enough armor to deal with a spider or two. Zombie pigmen may be tough, but spider, nah. Oh boy. Maybe doing this at night isn't the best call. We should be okay, though. I relish the opportunity to get more bone meal. Alright, so we got sky right here. We got a beautiful moon. Let's just plunk that guy down. As you can see, it looks a lot like the apiary interface. And we're in a normal. That's also part of my plan. We only have 2 honeycombs right now. I didn't get very lucky with the drops, but it should be sufficient for our purposes. Oh, let's just swim around the edge here. Grab a flower or two for our bees, our wonderful bees. And yeah, so with this, we'll be able to start making beeswax and probably even work on making our common drones, which is, for those who don't know, common is one of the earlier it's like kind of the first hybridization that you can make. You make it by crossing forest and meadows bees, neither of which is very, very spectacular on their own. The only bees from the base set that are very good are the marbled bees, and they just happen to have high productivity. A bug of this pack, and one of the things you'll have to see us cheat a little bit to get around, is that we'll have to cheat in some extra bees. It turns out that it's not my pack. This current release of extra bees itself is buggy. And with that, we have a problem where extra bees stuff doesn't spawn properly. And we've generated a ton of the worlds, and we're just not going to have that. We're not going to have water bees, stone bees. God, that hat. We're not going to have water bees, stone bees, or marbled bees. We need all three of those. The stone bees are critical for what we want to do. So we're obviously going to have to deal with that. You'll note, by the way, there's no room for frames. This bee house is very basic, and until we get a squeezer set up, this is the best we got. But we will start little bees. So by crossing a forest and a meadows, you have a high chance of getting a common drone. And that's what we're going to try and isolate first. Or actually, we probably won't try to isolate that breed. It's actually a big challenge to isolate. Oh boy. Let's just keep you at bay. Whoop. There we go. And more minium shards, which is good because they're super rare. I had to work really hard to get a lot of minium shards. All right, so we got our bee set up. Fantastic. Let's see, what else should we do? Well, I need a place to work and put valuable infrastructure that is not, upstairs. It's kind of outrageous how vulnerable this is. I built this when I was the only person on the server, right? And so when you're the only person on the server, you can just walk over and sleep. I do have lead, actually. And I would be daytime. But we don't have time-space warping technology without coordinating the entire server. Right now we've got 3 people on, Way of Time, Dr. Orr from the forums, and I. So obviously that's not happening. Given that, what are we going to do? Well, I think what I'm going to do is probably just dig a hole. I mean, why not, right? This is sort of, my house. What we're going to do? We're going to make a little trapdoor and a ladder. We'll just grab some of these ladders for now. And yeah, that should be sufficient. And then we'll do... By the way, I am slowly but surely falling in love with these new vanilla commands for manipulating stuff. It's just so awesome to be able to just drag... You saw I just, flew through that. Okay, oh, wither. Wither! Right, so it looks to me like I was leveling the terrain down here, and in the process, left room for a nice little hole. It's a little dark in here, so let's light it up. It looks like the radiation contamination doesn't come down here either, so that's fantastic. I think, though, that we'd like to actually have a proper roof and not be living in a literal cave. So, yes, let's keep that wall stable. And as you can see, there's even more. This is the natural non-cobble state of this stone. And it's pretty stuff, so I'm actually probably going to dig into this and make a nice little room down here, just so that we have a nice space to work. And I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be back a little bit later.